Hey guys, welcome back to another FPL video. Today I will try to do some transfers for your team if I were in your place. So without further ado, we just start with Mugiwara De Bruyne. Here's my team. My initial plan is game week 11 hold, game week 12 wildcard. So he has 2 free transfers now and he plans to use the wildcard in the next game week 12. I only use the wildcard only when there are fires in my team, but in your case I don't see any fires. Your team still looks in a good healthy condition, so I'm not really sure if you really want to push the wildcard in 12, because you can still use in game week 19 or when there are fires, injuries, whatever. But yeah, you can always go for that. But if you use the wildcard in 12, that means you have to burn the 2 transfers that you have right now, and 2 transfers for one single game week is probably a waste of free transfers. But if you're set on game week 12 wildcard, then the 2 players that you can remove are Chris Wood and Smith Rowe here. Probably you can force someone like Cunha and Smith Rowe. Probably you can change for, do you have Garnacho? Oh, you already have Garnacho. Probably you can do something like Semenyo here. You see, Semenyo and Cunha, they're really good assets, but they're not really an upside to Wood or Smith Rowe. So that's probably not the best use of your 2 free transfers. Since you plan to use the wildcard in 12, yeah, I wouldn't go beyond game week 11. So let's just move on to the other person, FPL Crisis. 2 free transfers, 1 million in the bank. Got an idea what I want with no Haaland, but any fresh ideas would be good. Sure, I'm no expert, but I can share some fresh ideas for your team. So let's see. I have made 2 free transfers for you in game week 11. Since you already have Foden and Haaland, probably I just want to save the money and just get Haaland out, because you already have Foden cover. And sure, there is rotation threat with Kevin De Bruyne already back, but this game week I think Foden should start, possibly just to give some minutes off the bench for De Bruyne. So I would probably get Haaland out, because you know Foden has a higher XG than Haaland and he's in a goal scoring mood from what I've seen against Bournemouth. So I think you can take Haaland out if you have Foden, because I think Foden is due some points. So what I do is Haaland to Visa, because you already have Cunha. And my plan is quite surprising, because why to Brentford? I will tell you later in the next game week. And then I will get Rodgers out for Mohamed Salah, and then you can captain Solanke or Salah. I think this looks great, and you don't take any hits. And what happened in game week 12? You remove Mbumo for Bukayo Saka, and that's my plan, because I think you might want some Brentford cover for game week 13 against Leicester. And from what I've seen so far, in the partnership between Mbumo and Visa looks better. He looks more forward, he looks closer to goal than Mbumo. Mbumo is getting shifted out wide a little, so I could take a punt with Mbumo out for Saka. And basically you already have Visa, Solanke, Cunha, Palmer, Salah, Saka, all the big hitters, and you already have Foden. And this Foden guy, you can actually depending whether Kevin De Bruyne is out or not, you can shift Foden to Kevin De Bruyne, for example, if he's still in the same price. Oh, he's not in the same price and you're out of money. So let's just hope Foden is still is still starting. If not, then I think you can downgrade to Fernandes against Ipswich, or to Garnacho if you want to save some money. Okay, now we move on to Banezar, considering rolling to have 3 free transfers going into the international break, but also considering Haaland dealing to Son and Isak. So this is my proposed transfer for you. Haaland out for Cunha, because I think Cunha could deliver the same points with Haaland. And then you can get Salah for Rodgers, and you still have 2.8 million in the bank. And then I don't think you would get Son in if you already have Madison and Solanke. I know you can captain him, but for me, I just want some variety, to have some Liverpool attacker, because by the next game week, you have Salah versus Southampton, which you can captain. And then the next game week, I would get rid of Solanke if he's not playing well, because in my opinion, Solanke just halt against Aston Villa, but he's still dropping deeper. So in the next few games, he can still do likewise and blank again. So yeah, I would get rid of Solanke for Jackson, who I think could deliver the same amount of points. Just look at his fixtures. So many green, and he's so cheap. And then get rid of Madison. He's not starting games, he's getting benched for someone like Semenyo or Rodgers. You don't have Rodgers, but I would prefer Semenyo. Yeah, you take -4, but I think it's worth of it getting rid of players for Man City. And then game week 13, you have Salah, Palmer, Semenyo, Mbumo, Jackson, Cunha, Raul. She looks great. Salah you could get for Saka here. And then yeah, your team is still in a good position. You can save more transfers in game week 14, 15. Let's move on to Vince. Here's my team for game week 11. Only have 1 free transfer with 6.9 million in the bank. My plan is saving transfer this game week and selling DCL for Welbeck. You have Johnson, Solanke, Cunha, Bumo, Salah, Palmer, Rodgers, and you have 6.9 million in the bank. And what to do? Well, you want to save a free transfer, right? And yeah, you don't need to sell anybody here. Your team still looks great, but if you want to use, probably you can get someone like, because you have 6.9 million in the bank, I don't really want that money to rest in the bank. You could get Rodgers to Garnacho or Fernandes. I prefer Garnacho. And then next game week, you have Solanke and Johnson, and probably Solanke out to Welbeck. No. You still have Calvert-Lewin. Calvert-Lewin out for Welbeck. Then don't play Solanke, and probably you could get a -4 hit for Saka against Nottingham Forest. You see, you have 2.3 million in the bank, so actually you could get Bruno Fernandes in game week 11, and then you have Saka, Salah, Palmer, Bruno Fernandes. Incredible business. Yeah, you took a -4, but over the long term it doesn't matter, only 4 points different. So that's your team. There's nothing wrong with your team. It looks great. And then Toby the Imago Day, this will be your team. Okay, this is your team, and what I propose is McNeil, to Garnacho. McNeil to Garnacho because he's underperforming, McNeil. And you can play Garnacho here. Because from what I've seen, you don't have Salah in your team, but you already have 3 premiums. It's very difficult to get Salah again. So you could theoretically get Salah, but you have to remove Haaland and you have to take -4. I'm not sure you would want to do that. So I would just downgrade McNeil to Garnacho. And then the next game week you just save because you have Haaland, Palmer, Saka. And yeah, but basically you just have to pull through with Haaland because you still have him in your team and no Salah. Or you could do something like this. If you really want to get Salah, then basically you have no. Okay. Then who else? Do you have Cunha? You have Cunha. But you see, I want to target the Man United fixtures. So if you like to gamble, you could probably get someone like Højlund. Yeah, sounds crazy, but you know, he still looks decent. Yeah, do you want to do that? -4. If you don't, then probably. Or instead of Højlund, if you are not much of a gambler, then you can get Gakpo instead and have double Liverpool. What do you think? This is a pun, Gakpo, but he looks great for the last 2 games. So yeah, you have to decide. And then you have 2 Liverpool attackers, Gakpo and Salah. And then Gakpo out for Welbeck, and you just keep Salah, and you can get Wood in for Watkins the next game week, and your team looks like in great situation. So that's basically your team. Yeah, it's very difficult to figure out, so many permutations that you can make, but in this video I just want to give a rough idea of what I think your plan should be like. But anyway, it's your choice, your decision. I'm no expert. I just give you some ideas based on my own perspective. So thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you all in the next video.